Welcome back to How It's Made. Once again, music is being served up on a platter. Vinyl records have an ever-increasing following among collectors and DJs. To cater to this market, some record companies are releasing more music on vinyl, a manufacturing process that is a carefully orchestrated performance. To get back into the groove, they first have to cut a master record. This flat disc is made of aluminium, and it will be the core of the master. The surface has a gritty texture early on, but it's sanded down and polished smooth. The aluminium discs are placed on a conveyor belt, and they ride towards a device that will coat them with a veneer of lacquer. The disc enters the curtain coater. Nitrocellulose lacquer oozes out of a long, thin opening, forming a veil or curtain. As the disc passes through the curtain, it's coated with the lacquer. Rollers with scrapers catch the runoff. The excess lacquer is reused. The lacquer starts to dry immediately. The solvents evaporate and the veneer hardens into a nail polish-like finish. At this inspection station, workers scrutinize each lacquer disc for pits, bumps or dirt. Even a minor imperfection won't be tolerated, so the rejection rate is high, about 50%. The rejects are recycled. The good masters are rimmed with plastic edging. This will stop the discs from rubbing together during stacking and damaging the finish. Next, the discs are held under a hydraulic puncher that cuts a hole in the center. Then it's placed on a spindle. A robotic arm slides a plastic ring down the spindle, depositing it around the center hole of the disc. Like the plastic edging, the ring will also space the discs apart. Now, the master discs are ready to take a trip to the studio. The lacquer disc is about to be cut. The engineer places it on the recording machine, called a lathe. He peels the protective ribbing away from the rim. He places a vacuum line at the center, which suctions to the underside of the disc and holds it in place. The engineer now moves the cutter and a microscope above the disc. He lowers the cutter onto the outer edge of the disc and it does a test cut. He positions a microscope just above the test groove and then he peers into it. He makes adjustments to the cut and he's ready to record. The lathe cuts the leading groove and the music begins. The sapphire-tipped cutter etches the sound into the disc. From start to finish, the recording will be one continuous groove. A computer monitors the cutting and adjusts the spacing between the grooves where needed. A small vacuum draws up scrap as the cutter carves out the groove. Some believe vinyl produces a warmer sound and has more depth than digital recordings. Creating an analog disc can be challenging. To produce bass, the cutter has to make big, wide grooves that take up a lot of space. And although the grooves can touch, they can't cross one another. At the end of the recording, the cutter lifts and the master disc is ready for inspection. If it's acceptable, the engineer places a stabilizing platform on it and scribes a unique serial number into the lacquer. Soon, this master disc will be making a big impression.
slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.